Here is your full emotional, long, cinematic YouTube-style story written exactly as you requested, plain paragraphs, no headings, engaging hook, smooth pacing for a 40-minute video, strong message at the end, and natural motivation for likes and subscriptions. If you had 5 seconds to change your life forever, what would you say? That's the question the viewers should hold onto, because that's exactly how this story begins. A billionaire CEO walked into her own company laughing, but she had no idea the man she mocked was about to reveal a truth that would change everything she believed about success, dignity, and what real wealth actually is. If you're watching this, stay until the end, because the moment he finally spoke, it froze the entire room. And trust me, after hearing what he said, you won't see life the same way again. And if this story touches your heart even a little, make sure you like this video and subscribe, because these stories deserve to be heard. Ava Hartman was not just any billionaire CEO, she was famous for her sharp business mind, her cold presence, and her ability to turn failing companies into gold. People feared her more than they respected her. She grew up rich, spoiled, and taught to believe one thing: people are only as valuable as their money. She lived by that rule. She hired by that rule. She fired by that rule. But not everyone in Hartman Industries cared about her power. Especially not the janitor, Daniel Reyes. Daniel was the opposite of her in every way. Gentle, quiet, a single dad, a man who carried the world on his shoulders but still smiled politely at everyone who crossed his path, even the ones who pretended he didn't exist. He had worked the night shift for 6 years, unnoticed, unappreciated, and invisible in the eyes of the rich. But tonight, everything was about to change. It was almost 11 p.m. when Ava stormed out of a meeting, frustrated after losing a major investment deal worth billions. Her board blamed her. Investors doubted her. For the first time in her life, she felt fear, real fear. But instead of facing it, she masked it with arrogance. And then she saw him. Daniel, mopping the floor quietly, humming a tune, unbothered, peaceful, happy. Must be nice, she muttered loudly, to have no stress in life. Daniel paused, confused. Ava smirked and approached him with the mockery of someone who had never known humility. Tell me, Daniel, she said sarcastically, you're the financial expert here, right? What should I do to save my company? Keep mopping or should I start begging? She expected him to laugh nervously, bow his head, and return to cleaning. But for the first time in years, Daniel slowly lifted his gaze and looked straight into her eyes. And then, he spoke. Maybe, he said softly, you should stop trying to look rich, and start learning how to be wealthy. Ava froze. Those were words nobody had ever dared tell her. And the worst part, they felt true. Ava forced a laugh. Wealthy. I am wealthy. Daniel shook his head gently. Money is numbers, ma'am. Numbers never end. If you chase money, you'll never have enough. Wealth is what remains when money disappears. Ava's chest tightened. Nobody had ever spoken to her like that, with calmness, truth, and zero fear. Curiosity, unexpected, uncomfortable, pushed her to ask, and what would you know about wealth? Daniel exhaled, put aside his mop, and leaned on the handle like a man carrying stories much heavier than a bucket of water. I used to own a company, he said quietly. Ava blinked. A janitor. Owning a company. Impossible. But Daniel wasn't joking. He once ran a small tech firm. Nothing massive, but profitable, respected, growing. He hired people who needed second chances, supported community projects, and built his business from his mother's garage. He was on track to become a millionaire. But life doesn't ask for permission before taking everything away. His wife died in an accident. Hospital bills devoured his savings. Investors pulled out. Employees left. And the man who once signed paychecks found himself pushing a janitor's cart. But I never lost my wealth, Daniel said softly. Because my daughter still has a father who tucks her in every night. Because I still know how to build something from nothing. And because I know the value of people, not their bank accounts. Ava felt her throat tightening. No one had ever spoken to her soul before. Only to her power, her money, her success. Your problem, Daniel continued, is that you think losing money is losing everything. But losing purpose is far worse. Ava didn't know how to respond. For the first time in her life, she felt small, not because someone insulted her, but because she realized how empty she had become. Over the next few days, Ava found herself seeking Daniel's presence. She didn't understand why. Maybe it was his calmness. Maybe it was his truth. Maybe she needed someone who didn't fear her title. She started asking real questions, without sarcasm. About leadership. About people. About life. Daniel never gave business jargon. He gave wisdom that came from pain, love, and humility. One day you'll realize, he told her, you don't build a company with strategies. You build it with people. His words echoed in her head long after she left the room. Slowly, she began to change. She started listening to employees. She treated people with respect. She fixed the toxic culture she had created. And soon, the company began healing too. But then came the moment that tested everything she learned. A new crisis. Billions at stake. The board screaming for answers. Investors threatening to walk away. Ava could no longer hide behind fake confidence. She walked out of the boardroom, found Daniel cleaning the lobby late at night, and whispered, I don't know what to do. For the first time, I'm scared. Daniel gave a tired but gentle smile. Good, he said. Because fear means you're human. And humans grow. Then he gave her the advice that saved her company. Stop fighting alone. Bring the people in. Ask them what they need, not what you want. Ava did exactly that. She listened. She collaborated. She trusted. And her company not only survived, it flourished, stronger than ever before. A few months later, she called Daniel into her office. This time, not to mock him. This time, with gratitude. Daniel, she said softly, you've taught me more than any billionaire mentor ever has. I want you to lead our new employee relations program. Daniel's eyes widened. But, I'm just a janitor. Ava shook her head. No, you're the wisest man in this building. He accepted. And on his first day in his new role, he told Ava the words she would never forget. Real wealth is measured in lives you change, not money you count. Ava realized then what she had been missing all her life. Purpose, connection, humanity.